20 seconds. Now they hear you. I gave you some time.
That was great.
Hi everyone. We're on a brand new look right now.
Yeah, we are.
We're on a brand new HUD.
Yeah, this one's a little experimental. It might change a little bit. Jason's running away. But right now this is how it looks. But this is our new Dyson Dynamics look. We're trying to make ourselves better. So
Any input or feedback is always appreciated.
yeah.
We have the
Ex-
Discord channel. Feel free to.
Mhm.
We do have a Discord, so make sure you join that up too.
But hi, welcome to tonight's. 1 second.
Home and hesitation.
Yes, welcome to tonight's episode of Chillen and Chult. Home and hesitation.
Oh God. I didn't even see the new title yet.
Okay, I wrote a script, so.
Ooh, it's gonna get special up in here, chat.
Welcome, lovebirds. Welcome to tonight's episode of Chillin' and Chult.
Fuck, I forgot his
It's only one part in a persistent campaign set in a adjusted world of Thorl. This game has so much, and now it has the luck deck. You see, we've rolled in a new component to the game. 2 decks, one representing bad events that might happen to the players and good events that might happen to the players. Cards will be drawn as I deem fit to reward players for things that make me laugh, clever things, or other incredible things. I'm a very good scriptwriter. This will be in lieu of the inspiration because I give too much inspiration. So you, the viewers, will be the only suppliers of inspirations for the duration of the game.
Or until we decide this is a bad idea.
Or until we decide this is a bad idea. Thank you. Now, we begin in Oh, wait. I forgot something.
Oh God.
What's this? A gift bow? Well, viewer, you're the only gift here. Thank you for joining us on Valentine's Day. I'm your host, guide, and confidant, your intimate friend through the dark jungles of this world, Fish, and welcome to tonight's game, Dyson Dynamics. Thank you for joining us.
Jesus.
All right.
The luck deck coming from Nord Games LLC. You should check out their website. They have a lot of cool stuff, and you can get the luck deck for like $10 as a PDF or $15 as a card deck. They're really cool. Support them.
Oh yeah.
You should type the website in chat because I don't know what you just said.
I'll copy it to you because I don't have Twitch because my computer doesn't like me.
Wow, no support.
Welcome guys. It has been 2 weeks since we last had a game. Thank you for your patience. Last week I was actually at my first ever concert. I performed. It was a blast. I am wearing a 3-piece suit, all of it different patterns. A brief recap, but last session we joined our players as they sat down for breakfast with the merchant princes.
Oh, fuck off.
They met a cast and crew of characters that had been on their radar, but hadn't quite had the honor to meet, including a more official introduction by Tyrion Razgod, Jet's ex-boyfriend. It was a rather tense meeting, and it ended with a lot of sour mouths. and we join up with Duvaneth, who has just learned from Cinder Sylvain that Vroka is not, in fact, a Harper agent.
Whoops.
The air is balmy. Desperation is riding in the winds. Solidago, you're walking steadily towards your house. Jet, you're in your bedroom. And
yeah.
Duvaneth, you are in the shadows of a merchant prince doorframe talking to Cinder Sylvain. You have just said the fuck word.
Oh, okay. I was about to pick it up right there. All right. Duvaneth will sort of rub her temple slightly and then say, have you heard heads or tails of an auction of some kind coming through town?
Define coming through town.
I don't really know where it is. This Roka character is auctioning off a ledger.
That doesn't bode well.
Well, for certain people.
I tend to try and stay within the loop, but my occupation has me focused on other things within the city. I definitely have heard of a rather exclusive auction. The other merchant princes tried to hide it from me, but since I am acting in Wakongo's aptitude, I was able to pick up some things. Not much, just that it's a ledger, that it's being auctioned, and chances are the auction will happen probably within one of the temples or the Colosseum.
All right. And then I'm sure working in his stead, you've looked into it or consider it. Did you find the circumstances of the merchant Prince Otamu's passing suspicious at all? Or?
Yes.
What makes you say that?
Because he was killed in front of me.
Wait, Wakanga Otamu was killed?
Yes.
What? Fuck. Okay.
Yeah. And I believe last time we played, they said it was like a box of poisonous animals or something.
Very Cleopatra of him.
Yeah. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. It's if there's any information you think would help identify the killer, I'm working on some suspicions right now.
Well, we were. It was an animal of some kind. I think definitely imported. Chult has a lot of dangerous animals, but we don't have snake. I know that someone's been trafficking in some unusual animals, but that was a concern for the other merchant princes. We didn't suspect that it would be used against us in our hubris, I suppose. I'll admit, some of the details are a bit spiffy on my case, which is why I haven't been able to launch a legal investigation. I technically didn't see anything. And she'll lean against a door frame, kind of rubbing her temples. Is there is that all? I Did you had other questions? I'm sorry.
Well, if that's all you have on the circumstances of his death, I appreciate you sharing that. And do you know whenabouts he's scheduled to be raised from the dead? I'd like to get his take on it as well.
Um, we're currently getting the funds. A lot of the merchant princes operate on favors and gifts. Not many of us have actual cash, save for Queothe and Xanthi. Um, they deal the most with import and export. So it's a lot of liquidation. It's a lot of borrowing and month at most. Um, I called into some of the other higher harpers for favors, but I haven't heard anything back yet.
Okay, well, if anything were to change, please feel free to reach out, find me, anything like that. And I need to get back to breakfast.
Hey, monkey.
Of course. Can I ask a question, Ivaneth?
You may. I've asked a fair share of mine. So
Why are you taking dinner with them? I kind of thought that would be beneath you.
I'm sorry.
You just don't seem like you'd be mixing with them.
The merchant princes.
Yes.
I've come across some that I like and others that I don't.
Fair enough question. You remind me a little bit about Wakongo. I think in the ways I liked and didn't like. Thank you. I'm going to go inside now.
Yes, please. Thank you again. And Giovanna will step away from the door.
She's going to take a step back, adjust her clothes, and she'll like reach out, grab the door, and like struggle to get it closed. But she does it, and clearly does not want help.
Okay. I will look around to see if I see Soul.
You do not.
Okay. And I will return to Xanthi's and return to the chamber where breakfast is being served.
Awesome. You'll rejoin with some of the merchant princes. A handful of them have left. Notably Ekene Atha and her husband, though you're pretty sure they're just in another room talking
Intently.
With their tongues.
Ifan Talrora is still dominating a couch. She's now like fully spread over it, languishing almost. Jabal and Ezon have returned and are talking as well between the two of them. Nitty's like there, and also Jed isn't there.
Cool.
Real quick question. Sorry, I have to ask this. Did my conversations happen while Devonth was gone, so technically breakfast is being served?
Yeah, they were like switching out the entrees.
That's what that was happening? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jet would have, I didn't know that, so Jet would have, so Jet will probably come back out to eat.
Awesome. Duvanith, you'll be rejoined by Jet after a brief moment. Yeah, a servant would have like
Got me.
right, or at least informed you what was happening.
And I am wearing a new silk blue tunic. Looks sword coastian.
You're so fancy. So you're walking through the streets of Port Nyanzaru. The sort of languid, smooth motion of the city has become rigorous, almost planned. Civilians walk in clumps, uh, seemingly being led by armed Chultan civilians. Uh, Guards are barely at their stations, most of them slumped, clutching themselves. Um, Most public areas are closed. All of the food stalls are still open, and there's no exchange. The workers are just kind of idly passing out food as people approach them. Um, and you can see signs limiting how much someone can receive. Uh, and there's a quietness, a stillness. There's no bars, there's no music, barely any conversation. And as you approach your neighborhood, it feels equally as quiet, if at least separated from the organized civilian patrols. You are at your front door.
Does so we'll first like sort of like go around the premise and like double check to make sure like all the doors are still locked and stuff. Like make sure that no one like broke in or anything.
Yeah, no, the doors are all unlocked.
Unlocked.
Yeah, like
Oh,
smashed open. The locks have definitely been fiddled with.
Great. Wonderful. You'll go ahead and push open the door and take a look around, see what the damage is. Probably a lot.
Everything has been torn down from the walls. The dining room table has been turned over. The chairs have also been tipped. Unnecessarily. This definitely felt like a deliberate.
Mm-hmm.
The icebox has been ruined. Food has been torn out of the fridge. Tapestry, the curtains on the windows have been tightly closed in a way that Alba usually doesn't keep them.
Does this look recent or like it's like there like a little bit of dust? Like has this been a thing?
This has been a thing for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Great. He'll go about and sort of pick up some of like the surviving like wood carvings that Alba had made, and like he'll like take like a drawing that Liz had made, like that was like hanging on the icebox, and like fold it up and like tuck it in his pocket. If there are any lying around, and he'll go up and check Alba's room. He'll check his room first, though he didn't. He wouldn't have left anything in there when he knew like stuff. So he'll check Alba's room first.
All right. Alva's room is trashed. His closet has been torn open, the clothes disemboweled from it. His desk is smashed, ink spilled over all of his papers, the drawers like ripped out. They even knifed and cut into his mattress. Bed frame is smashed. Anything that looks remotely delicate was tampered with.
Uh, is the picture of Alba and Sol and Liz, like with Liz's egg, still there?
It is not.
Good.
And yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. He'll move through and he'll check to see if like he has like assumptions of who this is, but like he wants to try to see if like they like left anything behind that would like tell him like who did this, or like if there's like anything nefarious left behind. Like he's gonna take a look around.
Where are you looking?
Uh, he'll look like in the desk drawers, also like
Right, so it's still in Alba's
Alba's
room?
room, but then if he doesn't find anything in there, he'll like fan
Right,
out
right.
like like forensic style.
Make me a. What's the difference between an investigation and perception check?
Perception is
Perception is looking.
It's like seeing the
Perception.
layer, like seeing just what's in the area. Investigation
Uh,
is lifting like the pieces of paper.
Mark.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Perception is noticing something. Investigation is knowing what it is. So like
Perception.
yeah. Perception is like seeing like
Just
a
say.
panel.
Just roll for perception.
Yeah. Okay. Ugh. 5. He's pissed. He's still pissed. He's been pissed.
A lot of that Alba kept his drawers locked, and they've definitely been unlocked. But yeah, besides noticing that someone unlocked the drawer, you can't really pick out details. There's nothing obvious left behind. They didn't leave behind a note card or. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Alright, he'll go ahead and go over to his room and check there as well.
You did not have a room.
Oh.
Do you mean the room you shared with the others?
No, he had a room because Jet and Duvarnith has space that they shared with Alita, and then Soul had his own room. That was like across from Alba's. And then like Lys's was like across from like where the other people were staying.
Give me 1 second to think this over.
Mhm.
That's
He'll-
right, because you had the guest room.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And they had the spare room.
The spare room, your room has been given a lot of the same treatment. Mattresses torn open, things were overturned, but it's a bit more methodical. Not with as much vitriol. Your stuff is obviously spilled across the floor, your clothing, etc., so forth, but not as disturbed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Does he see anything of note?
Not so much. They did spill ink on some of your clothes, though. Definitely on purpose.
Yeah. It's like I don't even have ink in here. God damn. Where'd they get the ink from? Alright, then he'll go over to Lys's room.
Liz had a tiny little desk that looked a lot like Alba's. And you can see that the drawers have been searched, but her papers and her schoolwork are still neatly on there. Some of the papers have been shuffled, but they're still on the desk. Her quill collection is neat and tidy. A shadow box she had up of Sunni religious symbolism is still hanging up on the wall. Her bed is in disarray, and her mattress was flipped and checked. Her wardrobe is opened, and her clothes have been rifled through.
So, like, it's clear that whoever these people were, they were looking for something, right?
I think that's a safe assumption to make.
Yeah. The fuck are they looking for? What the fuck are they looking for? He'll like fix. He'll like take out one of the quills that like he had gotten for Lys. It has like it's like one of the ones that has like the the little trinket like on a spring, like it's like shaped like a flamingo and has like the fuzz all around it. He'll take that and put it in his bag. It's like should just taking that with her. And He'll look around for, like, does it look like... I need to find anything here. Yeah. Fuck, this isn't what he's good at. He'll go back to Alba's room and, like, check the drawers again and see if, like, there's, like, any sort of, like, secret, like, desk things.
And just giving it a brief look over, they've already found the. I mean, it's Alba, of course he does.
Yeah, of course.
You can see that they've shuffled, pried back the false bottoms. Under his desk, like where his chair would be, you can see that they even pried up some of the floorboards to get into a small cache he had.
He's gonna go over to... Okay, with that in mind, he's going to go back over to Liz's desk.
Okay.
Are there... Saying as how, like, it's, like, a similar... Like you said, it looks similar to, like, Alba's desk, right?
Yes, I believe the words I used were like a miniature version of it.
Yeah. He's going... I can see you hiding your face. He's going to look in Liz's drawers and see if they also have false bottoms.
They do.
Oh, look at that! It's like he'll like sort of like tap it and be like, "Oh, yeah, that's all." This, I'm so sorry for going into invading your privacy. I just have to quick look at something, and he'll go ahead and open up the false bottoms and see what's there.
It's pretty empty. There's a distinct ink spill that indicates that something was there. The ink spill is old, like an old, faded, long been absorbed by the wood kind of ink spill.
So there's nothing else aside from the ink spill?
And like a lint, maybe like a origami paper boat.
He'll like take a look at the paper boat and go, "This is really well done. She should be proud of herself." And he'll like put it back in there and like put it down in there, and like he'll like sniff the lint to make sure it is lint because he's not good at this. And
Pretty sure it's lint. Yeah, you're a detective, Soul. You're so good at this. I found it.
Yep, that's lint. All right. Fuck. He'll go. Sorry, I'm like putting things that might be connected together, and they're probably not. He'll go back over to his room. Is there also a desk in there?
There is not.
Okay. He'll check out his clothes that had the ink spilled on them.
Okay.
Is it like the same like color as like the ink spilled in the drawer?
Black, yeah.
Oh, nice. Very helpful. All right.
Chult, unfortunately, is not.
Known for colorful inks.
Yeah.
That's valid. He'll just sigh and be like, didn't like that shirt too much anyways. He'll like and fold it up and then put it away for right now. And then he'll head back downstairs and like put the couch back to where it was and just sort of sit and think and wait for someone to
Make
go
a
and join him.
perception check
Ah, fuck.
as you're sitting there and thinking. Are you looking at the wall?
Yeah,
Curious
there's
question.
really nothing else to look at.
You have inspirations.
Oh wait, hold it. I don't have any more inspirations. Can I
Take
take
one of
an
my 4, please.
Can I take an unlucky card in order to get advantage? Use the new stuff? Because if not, I'm probably just going to use one of Mark's inspirations.
Sure.
Yeah. Nice. And advantage. 16. That's a lot better. Oh, you took it. Okay, I'll just put.
So as you're leaning in your chair, you don't have a couch. Alba's sleepy time chair. You kind of get lost in your thoughts, piecing and puzzling things together, navigating this complicated weave of intrigue. And this has never been your forte.
Okay.
You know, you've always been comforted. You are a thinker. You do think and process things. And as you're studying the overlap and the kind of surprisingly intricate design of the wall that you're facing, comes together in a puzzling way.
A puzzle?
A
Somehow.
puzzle.
Oh,
One
boy.
second. Let me.
Oh no. Let me just slide into place. Oh god. Okay.
All right.
Give-
And while you're solving that,
Oh. Also, Fish, I have the red card in mind, so that way, like, you know which card belongs to who.
oh, okay, that's a good idea.
Mhm.
I don't know how to get rid of it.
I'll help you
We'll
later.
bother with it later. Duvanith and Jet, you are now relaxed, eating like egg stuffed mushrooms. Someone has brought out oysters or clams. I don't eat seafood. Um, one of the servants brings out a heavy boned fish and debones it in front of everybody. And you can kind of just see the merchant princes view it, give a polite for the show, and then go back to talking. Tej, that has been watered down, is being served. And again, you see Jabal and Azon take a cup of Tej and pass it to Nitty. What do you guys do? What are you guys talking about? What is up?
So, so Shago isn't in the room anymore, correct?
He is not. He is out checking over the servants and stuff like that.
Okay. Two. So Tivanath will lightly eat some things. Is Tyrion still in the room, or is he not in here as well?
And as you start to eat and you're looking around for him, he will sheepishly enter the room and take a seat a little bit near Jet, but not on the same seat as him. They're on the same side of the couch table.
Okay. So as being that she will observe whatever decorum is required, and once sort of the meal is petering off to a close, um, she's uh, she's going to say, with all the problems that the current situation with the disease running rampant through Port Nyanzaru, how much longer do you think it is until such time as the trade routes will be open again? And then she'll say, "I know that my parents were interested in opening some trade routes up and down the Sword Coast and looking to extend here to Port Nyanzaru in the future as well."
The merchant princes will all gather and sort of look between each other. Um, Ifan almost looks towards Jabal, but Jabal just kind of gestures to Xanthi, who is still standing by the door. And Xanthi will adjust her clothes. She's changed her robes about 3 times since breakfast began. Um, all of them beautiful, all of them embroidered. And she'll it's left to be determined. I trying to remember how to do her character voice. Does anybody remember how I did it?
Nope.
Nope.
Awesome.
Cool, that doesn't mean Southern. She's Southern
People
now.
do
She's
not
Southern
come
now.
to this show for consistency.
hmm They come here for the gay.
Yeah.
No, the gay in general, not Mark and Tyrion. Not Mark and Tyrion, Jet and Tyrion.
The trade routes will reflect when it's healthy to export again. We still haven't decided if it's foodborne or carried on metals. We
What are some of the symptoms to watch out for? Having just gotten back.
a bit of it is fatigue. I believe that's the first one, fever. We haven't initiated a protocol for an outbreak of some kind, and that's when our medical leads can relax on some of the rules, so to speak, tests, experiments, studies. So we've only been able to observe passively. Some of the medics have reported, high fevers, and almost degradation of will. What's the word for it in common? It's the loss to a lack of, and she'll look at Ifan, and Ifan will look back and Malay, and she'll Malays. That's right. But that's all I know off the top of my head. I assume if you go to one of the temples, maybe Sune, preservation of the body seems to be up her alley. You might find something more.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the insight.
Well, you're at the table.
Also, we need to track down our friend's soul. We're worried he might be out getting into trouble with the sort of streets as barren as they are, potentially getting into something that could get him sick. I will have to go track him down. Do you know? I notice Shago has stepped out. What would be the best recourse to find him later in the day? Just come back here.
You're asking how to find Shago?
Yes.
He's generally here. She'll look over at Jabal. I know that you two need to reconcile. I'll send him over to your place in the evening, and you two will work it out. And you see like a range of emotions go over Jabal's face. Most of them being, "Are you really telling me what to do?" But he doesn't. He doesn't say anything, and Izan will lean forward and go, "Thank you, Xanthi. We look forward to reconciling with Shago. It will be a great honor to have him in our house." And you hear, "Jabal, be nice." And Xanthi will go, "Perfect. So he'll likely take lunch there, and then he'll be back here in time for dinner. But generally, Pshago likes to stay within the house.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Prince Anthi.
Mm.
And Divaneth will rise and depart.
Jet will slowly get up, finishing, and follow. Unless someone stops him, but yeah.
Yeah, you're both allowed to get up. Zombie will give her official blessing for you both to lead. And Tyrion, likewise, will stand up and he'll. Can I escort them to the door, Prince Anthi? She'll pause. She'll look at the two of you, silently asking for approval or permission.
Divaneth will just look at Jet. Oh, and then once Jet looks at Zanthi, she's going to throw the nastiest look possible at Tyrion.
Mark, I think you're muted.
Fuck! I started laughing.
What?
That's all.
What? Oh, okay. What did you say?
I thought I said it. I thought I said it unmuted. Jet would just as that would be. That's fine. My son's music is picking up on the mic. I can tell.
We can't hear anything, or I can't at least.
Okay, good.
Well, that's wonderful. And Zanthi will step aside. Tyrion will kind of hustle towards the door and patiently wait outside for the two.
Jet will follow behind.
Awesome. He will escort you to the door in blissful, awkward, excruciating silence, unless one of you wants to say anything or throw any nasty looks or.
Etc. Etc.
Oh, I'm giving him the nastiest of looks. Just like the whole time.
Jet is in front of you, so Jet doesn't see this, which I think is hilarious.
I really like the idea that like Devon just keeps throwing like tear nasty looks like and Jed just never sees any of it.
Nope, he's head slightly down, and he's just trying to reconcile that, another time maybe.
And Tyrion will open the door for you all and hold it open as you walk out, and he'll just say, "Walk safe. The guards are pretty busy now."
Don't worry. She's a crack shot. I think she'll kill them before I even realize it.
Oh.
She'll smile aggressively at him.
Tyrion clearly picks up, and he regards Duvanis with like a weary look. That's very good to hear.
Jet actually does start walking away and then turn around and go, "Could you do me one favor?"
Me?
Yes.
If it's within my bounds.
I have a feeling it does. He takes out...
You're gonna kill me, okay?
He takes out Tyrion's book and hands it to him. Oh, boy. Could you return this for me? It was a good read, but I kind of overdue.
He takes the book while Chet is still holding it, holding the other end, and he'll swallow. Did you finish reading it?
Fish, did I?
No, you still have a few more chapters and stuff to go. I haven't updated you in a while, but it's...
I don't remember if I want to say I said I did, but I think when we went into the jungle, I stopped because obviously it was the jungle. Um, Jet will go, no, sadly, I didn't, but I've heard people are waiting in line, and I don't want to be that person.
I think leaving a book unfinished is. Well, I don't want to say insulting to the author. That would be a little bit self centered, wouldn't it? But it is.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, my adventures have kind of got me not able to read. It was a really bad storm in the jungle, so didn't have time.
Right. I felt the same storm.
Besides, other people are raving about it, and I want to make sure they have time to read it. With everything going on, a good distraction like a book would easily help. And I have a feeling we're not going to be around for a little bit, so figured I might as well let someone else do it.
I see. I'll have to check the library return policies and see if I can return it on the behalf of someone else. But then I could just say it was lost and I found it.
Nah, you're good with stories, I've heard. If it costs you anything, please let me know, and I'll pay you back for it. Just so you know, if you think Jet just said some fucked up shit, he doesn't recognize it.
Yeah, he does.
Jet is legit just straight talking. He is not trying to be smooth or anything.
You see Tyrion like visibly flinch as he takes 3 points of psychic damage.
Jet is utterly confused.
If
Tyrion
it
would know that
costs,
too.
if it costs me something, I think that you've already repaid it. I'll return the book for you, Jet. Thank you.
Have a good one, Tyrion.
You too, Landir.
Jet will nod and walk away.
And Tyrion will watch you walk away. The book kind of held limply in his hand.
I'll walk
Just
slightly.
dunked on Tyrion, boy. Go on.
I will walk slightly behind Jet as we walk away, and I'll just do this without looking back at him.
What do you do?
Middle finger all the way back.
Just like walking slightly behind Jet, just
Okay, can you two explain? Because I really didn't realize what I did. What the fuck did I just get an oh my god for?
You're really good with stories, aka you're really
so
good.
I hear.
So I hear. I hear
Yeah.
you're really good with stories.
It was like you're good with stories. So I hear the first line raw, the second line you're like dink, ding 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 ding. You're just killed the
Chipping
man.
away.
Yeah, you flailed him.
Jet wasn't actually trying to do that. He was just trying to make it seem
No.
like everybody else has heard of him. So
Oh yeah, no, it was just given their
Regardless, I
Yeah.
think is the thing here.
that's
Buddy.
literally Jet's reading.
How are you doing?
You fucking prick. Hold on. I have a shot.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
Mr.
Jet.
-1.
Devana has a pretty solid read on you.
Oh, yeah.
She's become familiar with your habits, your mannerisms, and after being in so many vulnerable positions,
Positions.
Horrible way of saying it. You should feel bad.
she has a really good beat on you.
Yeah. For the first time since the whole Tyrion thing has shown up, since the gauntlet, I think it was. What is it called? Where the scorpion.
Gladiator.
Gladiator's been,
Gladiator,
thank
yeah.
you. Every time Tyrion's name's come up, it's been super tense. This is the first time you've seen him at peace. He's he's obviously upset. He's still hurt, but walking away this time compared to walking away from Tyrion in the breakfast, walking away from Soladaga would even mention it of how he felt different when he saw Tyrion hurt. He's a lot at peace and accepting of the circumstances.
Cool.
And
So
his
how you doing?
okay. We have more important things to worry about than him right now. And if Mistra wants him woven into my future, then he'll be there. But I'm not going to force it anymore.
Jet, I think you're misconstruing me. I'm
Okay.
not worried about him. I'm worried about you. I know that. I know
I
that from our journey here to since we got here, haven't exactly been the best friend and asking the right questions. Part of that is because it just seems like a absolutely insane set of circumstances that have brought me as far north as Neverwinter to as far south as here. And I apologize for that, but I want to know how you're doing.
I could really go for a strong fucking drink right now.
I am right there with you, but we've got some business we've got to handle. Let's see if we can find Soul first.
Good, because then I've got to show you to a nice brandy. It has the best flavor.
Great.
Let's go
And
find this golden fucking beast.
That's about accurate.
given I'll let that breathe for a couple minutes as we like walk through the streets and stuff like that, and then she'll ask, sort of break the silence as they get closer to Soul's house. So, what do you make of this disease?
Is there anything I can... Can I roll medicine on what I've heard so far?
It's yeah, I think you can roll medicine without having actually seen someone that's suffering from it. It's going to be a little bit hard, but I think it's safe enough that you can have some.
At least to, like, if anything, because he has proficiency, is like what it isn't is mostly, I think he would be able to describe.
That's a really good idea. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Oh damn!
All right. Awesome. Um,
Well, it's definitely not airborne. That's for sure, because everybody would be affected. Foodborne doesn't sound right to me at all.
so Jet, some of the things that you have gleaned so far from this disease, infection rate does not seem that high. Despite Chult being a effortless breeding ground for disease, modern and magical healing have kind of lent itself to an environment where things such as a flu, the cold, other things like that are pretty easily contained. Um, the way Xanthi talked, Portney on Zaru clearly has systems set in place for handling diseases, and it's definitely not airborne. If it was airborne, it would be flattened.
100% right. Definitely.
Um, it's not waterborne. You know that the Chultans boil their water. It's not the flu. The main symptoms don't appear to be fever or cough.
It's... If it's something medical, like the flu or something like that, this is a nasty fucking bug. But it is not something I've ever heard of. I've read enough medicine books, with Mother and everything to at least have a general knowledge. And Devoneth, I've never seen this.
That's what's concerning me, and I got a pretty good read that Ifon was likely the one behind the removal of the books from the Chilton Library at breakfast.
Mysteries.
Yeah, and I'm kind of annoyed about that.
Yes, me as well, but it also makes me wonder why the Merchant Princes would be so concerned with sanitizing the record of necromancy and this Rosni character when it's fairly clear that they're profiting and unabashedly profiting from people here being sick. It just reeks of a cover up.
Oh, well, there's a cover up of some sort. That's apparent, but I don't know how one could control such a disease as this. We know there are necromancers. It's taboo, but it's not fake.
No,
But to control a virus like a flu or something like that just does not make sense. 100% this is not. They're profiting. It's fucking apparent. But they're not controlling. I don't.
no,
At least my general guess.
I'm suggesting that Rosni is real and
Well,
he's behind it and they're working in cahoots.
well, how do you not? It's so funny because people think he's not real, but we've seen like what, three fucking undead ghouls with the triangle on their foreheads. Like, come on. One is coincidence. One and two a coincidence. Three is a pattern. This shit's real. We just got to figure
I'm
out how real.
This one was just a really nice big prankster.
Fucking bastards.
well.
We just got fucking punks.
Anyways, let's see if we can find Soul.
Yeah, I shouldn't. Yeah, it's hard not to find him, but I think we know where he went.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty sure.
Yeah, just a little
Have a good guess.
good guess.
Sam, it looks like you finished the puzzle.
I finished the puzzle.
You
Did I do a
did.
good job, Fish?
You did. I'm gonna have to. It's generally, I think, kind of become one of my favorite things now is like roaming for like free puzzle mazes for kids now.
All in the
It's
name
really
of
fun
Uptale.
doing mazes. Like, not gonna lie.
It's all in
Yeah,
the name
I'm.
of Uptale, so it's okay.
Yeah,
I
it makes
really,
sense for Oteo because he's all like, about like mazes.
I really like that it works too. Like, I'm glad that you enjoy it. Um, Jet and Duvanith, you guys recognize a lot of the same stuff Soladaga did before. Foods. There's no exchange between food stalls. People are just handing out wrapped food as they walk by. You can see signs up limiting it. Um, patrols of workers being escorted by armed Choltons. You recognize a lot of the guards just kind of slumped at their posts. And there's a general
Wait,
pessimism.
do those guards look sick or do they look like they don't give a fuck?
They look pretty sick.
Is there I want to try to walk up to one.
All right, you approach a guard. He's wearing the tabard of Port Nyanzaru, and he's kind of slumped up against the wall of a closed business, rubbing his face. And it's only until you're like in melee range to him that he kind of,
I'm sorry.
yes, citizen.
Yes. Hi. I'm a cleric. I was hoping I could. I apologize for such a blunt question, but is there a chance I could look you over and understand what's going on? Possibly help you.
It's a really shitty pickup line.
You know what? Shut the fuck up!
Make a persuasion.
Fuck. Alright. This is Jet.
So, here's what the guard sees. This guard is having the worst day of his life.
Yeah.
This air genasi with kind of tattered clothes walks up to him and goes, "Hi, can I look you over? It's for medicine." And standing near this air genasi is an elf. He looks at the both of you and he goes, "Sure, just as long as you stop this headache. I don't give a. If you want me to strip right here in the street,
No.
I'll do it.
No.
Do you need me to? Okay,
You're good. You're all set.
awesome.
Jesus Christ. Can I try to cast Cure Wounds on him to see if I can help him anyway, and also do a medicine check on him?
Sure. What are you going to do first?
I'm essentially using Cure Wounds to see what affects it. Like, essentially, Cure Wounds. I'm trying to use Cure Wounds to help him feel better. At the same time, see what doesn't make him feel better. Does that make sense?
It's like
Yeah.
process of elimination again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Show me. Do the cure wounds thingy.
Okay, Cure Wounds.
Quick question for everybody here. Does cure wounds fail if the person is at max?
Essentially, yeah.
More or less.
He wouldn't notice any discernible effect because they
Like
don't roll
he
over
would
into
probably like feel like
temporary
a
hit points.
warmth, but nothing would change.
Got it. I meant more on like Jet's side. I would Google this, but if I open a Google tab,
You're good.
we're not going to be able to play.
I think that on Jet's side, that's what he's hoping the medicine check is going to be about.
Yeah, I want to see if like it affects him. If curing him, like doing a Cure Wounds, actually brings an effect.
Got it. Bingo, bingo, bongo. I understand now.
Right.
You cast Cure Wounds. You gather together the arcane weave and deliver it, so to speak, to this man. You put your hands on him
Yeah.
after you're asked to look him over. Yeah, you give it to him. Jet, I cannot believe you. You confront an ex.
You know what?
And
Shut
then
the
you're
fuck
over
up.
here
All of you are fucking
putting
assholes.
your hands on some random
All I
guard.
hear is Tyrion go, "God damn it!"
He's like at breakfast and he's like, "Oh, Ifan, it's such a
Not on him.
God damn it!
And I want to roll my medicine check with advantage with one of my inspirations.
Also, during the course of him doing this, I'm just going to keep an eye out for if we're being tailed or watched.
perception."
Jesus.
A
Can I-
perception check? Ooh.
Jason, do you need an inspiration?
No, but in the process of doing that, I'm also going to make sure that that all my stuff is there and keeping tabs on my objects.
The beautiful thing about the disease is that nobody loiters. Everybody who is out with a purpose. There are no hooligans, there are no ruffians, there are no ne'er do wells. Everyone is tightly clustered, moving in groups or being escorted. Even the solitary figures of the guards are out. So the chances that you're being followed are pretty slim.
Cool.
Unless, of course, they're invisible on rooftops.
True. All right. May I roll this with advantage?
Yes.
All right. I like that.
How exactly are you checking him?
Essentially looking for signs of relief, seeing if his body language changes, and essentially trying to see if his body itself reacts with his hand on him to see if like anything relaxes, tenses. Essentially, just trying to read him over.
Okay, so you're giving a general visual check. Besides the hand touch, do you give a manual check? Do you check any vitals? Do you
Well, yeah,
check?
that's how getting like my hand on him for the cure wounds was essentially trying to do the hand stuff. Yeah,
Got it.
I'm essentially using the cure wounds as a way to like get my hand on him to get more than just a sight overview.
Got it.
It's to get
Um,
another
Yeah.
so
yeah, sense.
right off the bat, visual check. He's pretty lithe. The clothes he's wearing are baggy, and they hang weird on his body. His breathing is rapid. There's no there's no like visible change that you can see. There's no relief. He's still clutching the bridge of his forehead. So forehead, migraine most likely, cranial pressure, judging by how he's kind of massaging parts of his face. No fever. Uh, you kind of get a read on his pulse. It's pretty quick. His body is struggling. I'm trying to think of some other stuff.
The fast breathing might just be because, there's a hot Air Genasi guy just like hand on chest.
I rolled a 16, motherfucker.
Um, yeah, I think that's about it.
Fuck. So Jet's gonna take all that information and go. Did that work at all?
What?
When is your shift over soon?
No, I just started.
Oh shit.
Is this guy Chilton, or is he
He is not Chulton.
cool? Oh, just Juvanith will look at him and say, "Oh, just started. Is gonna be a late shift."
Probably. I don't know. I just stand out here and I do guard stuff.
Inside check.
Okay.
Not bad.
Could be worse.
All right.
Tough read.
He looks like he has a migraine, and he was definitely told to stand there by somebody.
Cool. I know that feeling.
Well, we hope your shift goes quickly.
Thanks. And this, he.
My hands are already off of him, by the way. I'm not just standing there holding on to him. Essentially, once it was done, I let go.
Pop. Just like pop.
Probably one hit point right now.
Yeah. But then you healed it. That's how you knew the cure wounds
Well,
worked.
no, it's still one hit point.
Well, yeah, but then you cure wounds.
Maybe. Have a good day.
You too, citizen.
And we'll walk away.
You walk away.
He had no fever, but he looked like he's been sick for years. Duvanith, I don't know what this shit is, but this is nothing I've ever read about.
There's definitely something that seems off about it. Again,
It's by touch.
I'm not good with this. I'm not good with this type of stuff, but I could see patterns and everything that's going on around it, and it just doesn't seem right.
No. And the only thing that seems as weird as that is the fucking triangle. But let's go find Soul. Make
Yeah.
sure he's still alive.
So you guys wander through the streets and eventually come to the neighborhood of Alba's house.
Before going inside, I will peer into the windows of the house across the street.
You peer in through the windows. There's through the sun rays that you can see it's a little bit dusty. There's about 2 sleeping bags by the desk that the window is situated above, but not much other signs of disturbance.
Okay, cool.
So the doggo, as your fingers trace the outlines of the wooden boards that make up the walls, and you stand back, satisfied with your work, the slacks that have interlocked kind of shuffle and slowly pull apart in layers upon layers before revealing a pretty small pantry space that's set a little bit into the floor, but the majority of it is above ground. Giving it a slight glance over, it's mostly folded blankets. There's an antique old family draconic quilt that Alba's great-grandmother was given that's kind of pinned safely to the wall. You can see that there's a wooden crate that takes up half of the room, pushed up against the farthest thing. And there's a little bit of dust. Not very much.
Okay. He'll go ahead and step in. He'll check for traps first. This is Alba. But he'll sort of like give a once over for like all the trap places that he knows like Alba has. But and then like once he like
Investigation.
he knows his husband very well. Excuse me.
You check and peer a little bit. You're able to notice the pressure plate that was on the floor. That will activate probably a dart of some kind. The draconic quilt is obviously a rug of smothering. Duh.
Jesus.
Of course.
Oh, Jesus. How do we take that bitch with us?
I was just
But-
thinking that actually, just in
But besides that, it's pretty good.
okay. Rug of smothering.
Jesus.
I love. Okay, so he'll just look in, and then he'll go over to the box that's like taking up the majority of the space.
Awesome. It has a lid.
We'll check for traps. Again, if need be.
You check for traps.
11.
The only trap is you slamming your head on the door frame as you enter fully.
Yep. 10 out of 10.
No, fuck.
Um,
It was his great grandmother's quilt.
Definitely give that to Quayotha.
it's a pretty simple wooden crate. There's no traps or anything on it. And as you're sort of fingering under the lid to pry it open, Jet and Duvanith, do you not? Do you walk over to the old house?
Jet's gonna knock.
Awesome, you hear a hollowed little wooden knot. So,
Hello.
Dang it.
We're friends of Queothe. We come to
Uh,
steal your children.
He'll walk over the door and open it and be like, they've been there, done that.
No. She's on a boat to my brother, remember?
No, I know. And
Oh.
he'll, welcome to my humble abode. And he'll do a very not enthusiastic, but
Vanna White.
he'll,
the place is trash to hell.
yeah, the place is trash to fucking hell and back.
Oh, love what you did there with the place.
Thanks.
It looks good.
I found a sacred room. Don't touch the rug.
Oh, is it in the basement?
No, it's a little bit inlaid, but not enough to be like a basement.
Have you looked in the basement yet?
We don't have a basement.
That's not what he said.
Jet.
What? Fine. Anyways, what did you find?
Well, I was getting to that when you knocked.
Oh, okay. Continue, please. I'm all excited as well.
You probably want to go check your room for anything that you guys left behind to make sure it's still there.
Oh, shit.
And he'll go ahead and return to the wooden crate.
Awesome. You return to the wooden crate. It's quilting supplies, extra fabric, some wooden blocks, a paring knife, sewing supplies, and you're kind of rifling through a double-edged scimitar, whatever.
Oh, hey. Duvon, if
What?
Alba put your scimitar away in here for safekeeping.
Oh. Oh,
Double
shoot.
scimitars.
I was starting to get worried. Is there a big, long wooden metal contraption in there, too?
Is there a big long wooden metal contraption as well?
There's not.
There is not.
Okay, I'll be right down. Giovanna will check the location where she was keeping it upstairs.
You check around in the room where you guys were staying, which kind of doubled as storage room. All of the crates and storage areas have been pried open, disemboweled. The floorboards have been ripped to shreds. Your sleeping bags are neatly folded, like your sleeping spaces, and all the extra blankets and pillows were kind of neatly stacked to the side, which is nice. But there doesn't not a shred of anything usable there.
Uh-oh.
Someone's gonna die now.
Duvanith looks at Jet and says, next time you send Alba, you need to ask him, do you have Duvanith's gun? So account for 5 words.
Okay, I can handle that.
You find some of the like miscellaneous things the group left. You'll find the picture of Solidago, Alba, Liz, a glass box containing pieces of her egg, all of like Sol's official legal documents are neatly at the bottom.
Anything else? He'll knock on the bottom of the drawer, the chest, because he doesn't trust Alba.
There's just not a false bottom.
Is there a false top?
No, there's not a false top. But all the stuff that Alba was able to save, most of it was just the like official legal documents. sentimental artifacts and Duvaneth's scimitar.
Squared. Alright. He'll... What else was in the little space? There was the quilt, the crate, and was there anything else?
Just a bunch of blankets.
Blankets. He'll look through the blankets and see if there's anything under them or anything like that, making sure to fold them back up when thing there.
There appears to be. We're going to be taking a small 2-minute break while my dad goes to bed.
Okay.
Okay.
Quaith is gonna fucking die.
Oh God.
Well, that's assuming that. Well, my thing is that Alba had the good intention to put Duvaneth's scimitar in the in this secured little pantry area. So I'm wondering if it's he took the gun with him because he was able to get smoke powder and thought it would be of use to him, which I would be fine with. And also I had a conversation with him about it and the fact that it was important to Duvaneth. So it's both useful to him and important. So I want to make sure he has it before I jump to him.
Didn't Duvaneth mention a basement?
He a long time ago.
Yeah, it came up a little bit.
I thought Duvaneth was brought into a basement.
No,
I was
Duvaneth
brought
was not
into
brought into a
Alba's
basement.
room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
just Alba's room.
Yeah,
Awkward.
But I feel like there was mention of a basement at some point.
There
in time.
was.
there was, yes, several times. It came up several
Alba
times.
kept telling you to not go into the basement.
But we don't have a basement.
But Alba kept telling you.
I know, but that's what I mean. Soul is not aware of a basement, and he has no idea how to get down to there.